repented. Had to spend time with God, get my mind reinvented. Even though I was repenting, it didn't feel authentic. While the show kept going with the devil, had my mind in submission. He had me.
It's your boy, Djroyallove, and we're now keeping it a buck.
Welcome, everybody. Keeping it a buck. I'm your host, Honor from Laughatlifeo, OLALO. Y'all already know how I do it. And today is a special, very, very special day. I have such a special guest. I know y'all going to say, but Honor, you got a special guest every episode. No, but y'all don't understand. Y'all don't understand. Today, this week, this episode, I got a myth. I got a legend. I got a man. I got the DJ of all DJs. I got a producer. I got an activist. I got the Christian Kanye West ranter. I got the Christian Pharrell hatter. I got the one that just likes to eat when he used to do his live. I got the CEO of Kicking Radio. Wait, CEO? No, he's the founder of Kicking Radio. He is my one true friend. I love this brother so much that, man, matter of fact, hold on. Before I finish this introduction, I got to make it clear. This brother right here is the reason why Laughatlifeo exists. He's the one that put it on the map. The one, the only Djroyallove. Djroyallove, what's going on, man? Step up to the plate. Let them know where you from, what you do, what set you claim. If you got any crazy TikTok dance, let them know who you is, dog. The floor is all yours.
Yes, sir. Hey, what's going on, kings and queens? It's your boy, Djroyallove, man, here in San Antonio, Texas. I'm on Keeping It a Buck with my boy Honor, and I'm ready, baby.
Let's go. Well, DJ, man, I do want to say, man, I appreciate you for coming on the show. I do want to say something. This is the part where I give a disclaimer, right? So basically what it is Keeping It a Buck is a show where we keep it at 100. We put everything on the table, right? We put everything on the table. If I ask you something and you don't want to talk about it, all you got to say is, you know what? Oh, man, I don't want to talk about it. Honor, skip. You can pretend like you don't know what I'm talking about, but I might just go get my wig with my dreadlocks and get my TMZ on.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready, man.
Man,
I'm ready.
What's going on, dog? How you been? I see a little gimmick that you got back there, a little flashing background.
Nah, it's not a gimmick, man. This is something that you guys, everyone will see once a week, part of the Kicking Radio show.
Yo, DJ, you know what? You are. I'm gonna say this off. I'm gonna say this real quick, so you just know. This episode is the last episode of season 1 of Keeping It a Buck.
Okay, I appreciate that. Save the best for last. Okay.
I had to, man. Put your schedule, man. But let's get right to it, man. Let's stop wasting some time. My first question that I got for you, dog, and we keeping it a buck. Yo, what's your beef you got with Honor the rapper, man?
Hey, man.
What's your beef with Honor the rapper, dog?
Hey, bro. Hey, bro, if you want me to keep it a buck, man, I think Honor the rapper is bigger than just a rapper. I mean, just because you're a rapper, that don't mean you sound good. I just don't think Honor the rapper sounds good. That's just my personal opinion. I think he's a way better host and a way better, minister than he's a rapper. I mean, rapping ain't for everybody, bro. But he got bars, but I just don't like his flow, man. That's keeping it a buck, bro. And that's what love, man. That's keeping it on it.
I appreciate it. Now that we got that beef out the way, we're gonna put the boo signs right there. Boo. Anyway, and I'll be honest, man. I'm so excited to have you on, and I don't want to take too much away. I don't want the spotlight to be on me. I want it to be on you. We're going to get into something that you released earlier this year, and we're going to get into that in a second.
Okay.
but tell us a little bit about your background. Like, you got saved in a church, you raised in a church.
Yeah. So
A little bit of who Djroyallove is and what DJ. Yeah, pretty much.
yeah, man. Growing up in a single parent household, man, it was just me and my mom's and in the hood of Virginia, man, Norfolk, Virginia. And we moved around a lot in the 757. If you're from Virginia, you know what the 757 is. We jumped from Norfolk to Virginia Beach to Hampton to Newport News. That's where I graduated from. But with all that said, man, my family owned, my grandparents were pastors, and my aunts are pastors, and my mom's a minister. My whole family, man, we grew up in the church, man. But just because I'm gonna say this, man, just because I grew up in a church, that don't mean I had a relationship with Christ. You know, it was kind of, you know, being young, you really don't know what it is. You just had to go. You know what I mean? That's just how I looked. I just had to go. That's where all my cousins were. We sung in the choir. We did all that together. And something I just felt like I had to do on Sundays, man. And basically, you know, growing up and you go through life, and that's what I did, man. Djroyallove, man, before he was Djroyallove, I'm a high school dropout. You know, I'm a high school dropout. And even though I was a high school dropout, because I have a strong mindset, I said, you know what? I'm not going to be looked at as a dummy. So right before I dropped out, matter of fact, couple days after I dropped out, I went to go ahead and take my GED because I did still want to go to college. The reason why I dropped out because I had a kid on the way. You know what I mean? So, but you know, my high school sweetheart, I did end up marrying, and you know, push come to shove, I'm not with her anymore. You know, that's something that I would love for you guys to see on djrxyallxve.com. But I think you're gonna touch on that. And I do have a testimony story about that, and I would love you guys to go check that out. But that's basically who Djroyallove is at the beginning, and now I'm just a man of God. I put God first. I have that relationship with Christ now that I never thought it would come to this or be this way. Because before, yeah, I grew up in the church, but I never had a relationship with God like I have today. And I mean, that's who Djroyallove, man. Somebody that put God first and let my talents and ability to, you know, show people what God has done for me and give it to the world, man. That's who I am, bro.
So I want to ask you a question, because shout out to your moms, because I had the pleasure to speak to her, I think once, twice, and it was very intimidating speaking to your mom with all that biblical knowledge she has.
Yeah.
She sung me on a live.
Yeah.
So because you grew up in a church, right? And your whole family background all in the church. When you were about to have your first kid, right, out of high school, what was the reaction from your mom Dukes, from your whole family? Because I touch on that because it's very important, because I've spoken to people, and people that have grown up in the church, they've kind of backslid, or they haven't that personal relationship with God, it hasn't been formed. And I believe that the world has this misconception that, oh, because you were raised in the church, you should be holier than thou, when really that's not the case, because it's until you build a relationship with Christ. And I've noticed and I've learned through the episodes that people that have been raised in the church and don't have that relationship, that they that they, I guess you could call it backslid, or they walked away from God. Some of them have gone into some crazy stories, and some of them not so crazy.
Okay.
I think it's important to know, because maybe there's somebody out there that was in your shoes or is in your shoes that, wait, hold on, I said that wrong. Somebody that may be in the shoes that you were when that happened. What was the reaction then?
That's a good question. Now that you're making me think back, and everything that went down, of course, for me, in my opinion, about everything that went down, once the word was out, I was having a kid. For me, it was fear, but for my family, it just felt like they were trying to get me to get married because I wasn't even married before I even had my kid. So it just seemed like you have to get married. You have to get married. That's the right thing to do. You have to get married. And if you want me to go into details how I felt about that, I will. But
Please
I mean, that's big. So
we keeping it a buck. Come on, dog.
Yeah. We definitely keeping it a buck, man.
Unless,
From then it's all about it was all about marriage, man. Just getting married. That's the right thing to do. You know, blase blase. You know how that goes. And in reality, as I look back on everything, I think I should have just waited because I was young, man. I was just turned 19 years old. Just turned 19 years old, and like you said, just because my family, we all grew up in church. At 19, I still hadn't had a relationship with Christ. So therefore, I don't feel like I should have been pressured from the family to get married to someone that, you know, I still love to this day. You know, I love everybody, but I didn't know that person because I believe at 19 years old, you still don't know, you know, that 19-year-old girl. That 19-year-old girl is not the same girl from 19 to what 36 now. You know what I mean? Totally different person. And that's basically what happened. And, you know, I got married to her, you know, because I felt like that was the right thing to do because my family said that was the right thing to do. And we end up splitting up, what, 2-3 years later, you know?
So would you say, would you say in a sense that was some kind of legalistic mindset?
Um, I I can't say, bro. I don't know. I mean, I just legalistic as in what way? Like break it down to me, the ABC.
Legalistic, like in, I know that. Well, legalistic. When I say legalistic, I mean like within the body and within the church, legalistic. Like the Bible says, you should not have a kid out of wedlock. I know I don't remember exactly where the scripture is, but
Yeah.
that's considered to the way that it was presented to me was having a kid out of marriage is a kid out of wedlock is a kid out of sin, right? And I only say that because I went through that with my wife. When we had our first daughter, we weren't married.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't marry my wife until my daughter was what, 6.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, 13 years into our relationship. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So I think I know what you're saying now, man. And I just think that was, to be honest, bro. For me, it was just I just wanted to do the right thing. You know, I didn't think of anything else. If my family said it was right, and of course, I knew who God was, and I'm like, I don't want to upset him. I just want to do the right thing. I don't, you know what I mean? It was, again, I'm 19. I I didn't even have my son yet, you know. So she was pregnant, wasn't married. I just wanted to do the right thing. So I wouldn't upset God, bro. You know what I mean? I mean, that's basically what it was. It could have been fear, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Fear of what?
Fear of going to hell, fear of,
Okay.
you know, just not doing the right thing.
Now, let me ask you this before you even answer anything else. Do you think that growing up in a single home, did that play a part in it too?
mm,
Do you think that played a part? Like, okay, my pop's not in the picture. I'm about to be a pops. I got to change the situation. Do you think that played a part in it too? I'm just asking.
um, I don't think so. Because at not one point that I ever thought about my father then, bro. Um, I was selfish. I just thought about myself and how I looked and how I felt. And I wanted to do my own thing, but I just wanted to do it right. Even though I didn't know what right looked like, I don't know, man. I just wanted to do it right. I didn't even think about my father.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're 19, getting married, about to have a kid.
Mm-hmm.
3 years. You said what? 2, 3 years later, you guys split.
Yep.
Somewhere around there.
Yep.
What happened next?
What happened next, man?
To your story because it's going.
Man, you make look. You going in the in between parts where people don't know, but I like it though. What happened next, man? I went back. Well, at that time, I was living in the White Plains, New York, when I split.
What?
Yeah, I was
about my area. What were you doing?
Yeah, I was living in White Plains, man, and actually, I was working for UPS.
Okay.
In White Plains, and we end up splitting, and I end up going back home to Virginia. And then when I went back home, I realized all my cousins wasn't there, all my family wasn't there. Like the cousins I grew up with, they was all in college, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to college. And then from there, bro, I went to college, met up with my cousins. We all went to school together. Met a little girl, little girlfriend there. Fooled around, only stayed there for a semester, and went back home again.
What college and what did you study, or what were you trying to study?
Chowan University in Murfreesboro, North Carolina, and I was studying sports management, man. Sports management. Wow. Yep.
I'm taking you're a big sports guy.
Oh yeah, I was an athlete, man. I was a real big athlete, and I wanted to actually, sports management is basically be a sports agent. That's why I wanted to get into, representing athletes, stuff like that. Yeah, man.
So you got college, you had a little side piece.
Yeah.
You put it to the side. You went back home.
Yeah.
And
went back home and didn't know what I was gonna do next, man. And I end up it wasn't my girlfriend, but meeting another girl, man. And from there I I messed around with her one time and she got pregnant that one time. So that's 2 kids on the way, still technically married, left college, and another baby on the way.
Baby number 2.
Baby number 2.
Okay. So what was different about baby number 2 than baby number 1? How did you handle that differently?
I'm glad you asked me that question. Here's the dirt bag in me. I ain't never date that girl. I never wanted to date that girl. I told her to get rid of it. What? Keeping it a buck. This is the young didn't. I told her to get rid of it, and she agreed. Yeah. And then from there, all my cousins left college too, and I ended up getting a merchant marine job, and end up going back to school, which is hospitality school in Delaware. We all graduated from there, and we got shipped off to work in Hawaii.
Okay.
And when we was in Hawaii, that's when I got this phone call that I'm keeping the baby. Click up.
Oh, wow.
Yep. And I'm like, man,
So you got her pregnant. You guys agreed on a term.
Yeah.
You signed up for the military, Marines.
No. See, no, I was in the merchant marines. A merchant marine is someone that works at ports or works on ships.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what a merchant marine is. Works on cruise ships, any type of ship, work at the water port. That's what a merchant marine is. And we didn't have we had an agreement that, she was gonna not keep the baby, but she ended up keeping it once I went to Hawaii.
So now you're in Hawaii, you get the phone call, you're like, yo, you about to be a dad. How did that change? What was the mindset then?
My mindset was, I'm gonna stay in Hawaii. I ain't never coming back home. So you ain't gonna find me.
Dog.
I'm gonna just live my life.
Dog, she's a female. She'll find you.
Wow, that was inappropriate.
Man, I'm telling you, that was my mindset, bro. You want me to keep it a buck?
No,
I'm keeping it a buck right now, bro.
I know.
You know what I'm
saying? You thought wrong.
Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I didn't even think about it, bro. I was just living my life. I wasn't worried about you know, what I've did in the state, even though Hawaii is the States, but you know, Hawaii is so far on the west coast. I didn't even think I was coming back to the mainland. That they call this the mainland. And I didn't think I was coming back. So while I was on the ship, man, I just had multiple girlfriends on the ship. That was keeping me occupied.
That was so you were like the Don Marco, the Don Juan de Marco, huh?
Man, I guess, man,
You were the Snoop Dogg before the Snoop, the old double G, huh?
I don't know, man. I guess I let my private part lead the way most of my life, bro. You know what I mean?
Gotcha. So, all right. So how old were you when this happened?
Ooh, believe it or not, I think I was like 20, 21, I think.
Okay. So the reason why I started off with this, and I wanted to get this part, because if we're gonna keep it a buck, I know you for what, 2-3 years now? 3 years or somewhere
Like 3-4 years, yeah.
Okay, and we've shared some deep secrets. We shared a lot with each other throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
I consider you a brother, right? And
Same.
I your testimony is out, but it's not fully out. You don't really you give bits and pieces of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why I'm asking is because you have released this year a project called The Prodigal Son, which we're going to get to, right? And why I'm asking you is this, because in the first part of The Prodigal Son, if you haven't watched it, y'all need to go to djrxyallxve.com and go check out The Prodigal Son. You talk about the girls, talk about the sex, talk about the party in The Prodigal Son, right? Dope visual how you did it, right? So you're 21, 2 babies in Hawaii. When do you come back to the States?
I came back.
What led you back to the States?
What led me back to the States? I end up leaving the ship, and I end up going and trying to have somewhere to live in Oahu, which is where Honolulu is at.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually jumped ship with 2 other guys, and one of the guys had family that was in the military. So we end up going on a military base to stay for a while. But then I thought about it. I'm like, yo, I'm here by myself. I ain't got no family here. I ain't got no place to stay. I'm staying with this guy I just knew from the ship and his family. I want to go back home. So I reached out to my aunts or my family back at home, and one of my aunts ended up buying me a plane ticket, man. And I end up going back home. So when I went back home, it was just like, okay, what's next? So I end up calling my wife that I left and told her all about me having another kid. So that's when she came back into the picture. And I don't know what my wife was thinking at the time, but she was very supportive and she wanted to be right there on the corner. I don't know if it was jealousy. I don't know if it was a territorial thing still, because we were still married. So she came back in the picture, man. And from there, that's when I decided that I needed to take care of my family with my wife and join the military. And that's what I did.
What branch?
The Army.
Sir, I thank you. First off, I want to say thank you for your services. Thank you for all that you've done. Thank you for laying down your life as a sacrifice for us. I know that you guys, I know the military doesn't get a lot of credit today as it should. I have family members that serve in the military, and I know how that's like, you know. Friends that still serve, and I appreciate you. First off, before you even say anything else, I appreciate you and I thank you. And my hats, I tip it off to you guys and to you and every veteran and soldier that's out there. Now, you served the Army. What did you do in the Army?
I went in as a cook, man. I went to culinary school. So I went in as a cook. And yeah, man, that's what I did. I was a cook and I was a soldier. My job was a cook, but I was a soldier.
You did tours?
I did 2 tours.
Where?
First tour was Iraq. Second tour was Iraq. We ended up closing. I was part of the crew or group. I don't know if you guys remember when we closed Iraq down the first time. I was part of that group that closed down Iraq and Kuwait. So it was like we closed down Iraq that same year, and then we moved to Kuwait.
What was that experience like? Please tell us, what is that experience like being across seas, especially in one of the most difficult times when we were, I guess you could say I mean, it still are, fighting the war on terror and that whole process. What was it like?
Honestly, it doesn't matter how much training you did. Once you get over there, you're not prepared. Reality kicks in. Reality kicks in that when you over there and the soldiers that you're relieving, and you're hearing all these stories, and it's just like, what am I doing here? I'm a type of guy that like to be in control of everything in my life. Over there, I just felt like I wasn't in control. I can die in my sleep. I can die eating in a DFAC. DFAC is another word for a cafeteria. I could die using the latrines. Latrine is the porta potties, bathroom, whatever you want to call it. But so, you know, when I first went over there, I think I cried for the first 5 or 6 months. I cried myself to sleep because it was tough, man. When you hear a like when you hear bombs in real life and your heart jumps out your chest every single day, it's something that, like I said, it's something that you can never train or be prepared for. I thought just growing up in the hood and hearing gunshots or drive-bys or something, man, that has nothing on the experience that I personally experienced in the military. As I stayed and, you know, months passed, of course, I got comfortable with it. You know, I got comfortable hearing the bombs. I got comfortable getting shot at by rockets. I got comfortable with all those things because I guess in my mind, it's just like, you know what? If I'm going to die, I'm going to die. It is what it is. Because there was no way out. It's not like I'd be like, you know what? I don't want to be in the military no more and walk home. No, I'm in a foreign country, you know, and it's, you know, and just seeing people blown up and being in accidents. I mean, I was in rollovers. Like I said, I got shot at with rockets. Just being out there, just worried about IEDs and hearing bombs go off, and man, it definitely made me appreciate my life, and it made me definitely appreciate my life in America, actually. And it made me realize how spoiled we are and take stuff for granted. And it really changed me. To this day, it still changes. I mean, to this day, yeah, I still look at life in the way that it's funny that we're talking about this because I didn't want to leave. I was scared at first, and in what, the 10th or 11th month, I didn't want to leave because I realized over there, yes, they don't have the things that we have here in America, but see, that's the thing. I feel like it's crazy that I would say this, but it felt like I was at peace. Wow. Because I didn't have to worry about looking good, or I ain't have to worry about proving myself right to anybody, or like it was just a boring, normal, you got my back, I got your back, this is brotherhood type life. And it was, believe it or not, it was it was peaceful. I didn't want to leave. I didn't want to come back to America and deal with these high bills and work. Like I didn't want to deal with that. I don't know if that was just my mental, what I went through, or I mean, to this day, I kind of still feel like that. I mean, we ain't worry about no social media when we was over there. We didn't have nothing to worry about, man. They lived a simple life,
I know out of personal experience because not personal experience, but I know because I've seen you on the 4th of July a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
On a live.
Mm-hmm.
First year I met you, that first year that I met you, it was in June, May, June is when I really connected. June, when the album came out. I remember I talked to you about the 4th of July, and you said you don't like the 4th of July because of the fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about. That's when you told me like you have PTSD when it comes to fireworks. How bad is your PTSD when it comes to fireworks?
It's pretty bad, but I learned after a while to cover it up.
How? Please, because I know there's people out here that probably still deal with that trauma that don't know how to kind of deal with it, if that makes any sense.
I lock myself. I believe it or not, sometimes I just lock myself away and put music on my ears so I won't have to hear it. Yeah, I mean, or sometimes I just might fake the funk. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm not scared of fireworks, of course, but it's the mindset of a flashback. See, what we go through flashbacks. When you go through flashbacks, it just makes you uncomfortable. When you always have to, look back and forth and make sure no one's around and like it is very, very uncomfortable. And everything that's bad just flashes back through your mind, and it just takes over your body. But most of the times I just lock myself away. I isolate myself and put something to my ears and just, jam out to some music.
I can't imagine what it feels like. I can't.
Yeah, even like right now, talking about it, I mean, it still affects me. But again, I cover it up. But I think, yeah, because I'm a real emotional person. So it definitely, people with PTSD, it definitely, anything talk with war, anything talks with just having these conversations, it definitely triggers. It's definitely a trigger, and it definitely, bothers. But it is what it is.
When did you leave the military?
I left the military in 2014. 2014. Yep.
So how long did you serve?
I served 9 years. 9 years. So what, 2015, 2016, somewhere in there? Yeah, like 8, 9 years. 8 going on 9 years. Yep, by the time I got out. So 2015,
so you did
2 tours. My first tour was in 2008. And my second tour was in 2010. So I did back to back.
Okay. I don't want to stay I don't want to stay too long on this topic because I don't want to resurface memories. What was the adjustment like? First of all, why'd you leave the military if you didn't want to leave the tour? Because I know the tours you kind of gotta come back.
I think that was the biggest reason right there. Thank you, sir. I was trying to figure out why did I leave, because I just knew I was going to, instead of medically retiring, I just felt like I was going to retire just regular. And you just made me realize why I left. Even though I knew why I left, but I really didn't know what caused it. It's because of, like I said, I didn't want to leave Iraq because of the selfishness and the reality of life back at home. But it wasn't until I got home after that second tour, around that second tour, when every day it was a drag. Every day I didn't want to go to work. Every day I didn't want to look at people that I worked with. Every day you go to work and you want to kill somebody, that's an issue. It was an issue. And again, I don't know how my mental state wasn't right. So I was scared of myself. So at one point I was scared of myself because it was just like, I got guns in my house and I'm like, yo, I'm just going to go to work and just start shooting people. So before I even got to that, it's crazy because the day before I planned out just doing that, I went to work and I went to my sergeant major and I said, I need help. I want to get out because I'm going to kill y'all. I'm going to kill everybody that, that I work with. And he, of course, went against it because he said, you one of our top soldiers. You do great athletically, PT, everything like this, and you're a leader. And I just told him I couldn't do it no more. And for your safety and my safety, I just need to leave, And they knew, and he knew that it shocked them because they didn't think I was going to even go that route. But enough was enough for me, I guess. And thank God that they let me get out with an general under honorable at first, but because I filed for PTSD and stuff like that, I'm 100% disability. Now I am honorable discharge. Thank you, God, they didn't kick me out and give me dishonorable discharge. So I thank God for that,
How was it when you left? How was it the adjustment back to real life? Like now you come back to reality, back to life, to right?
Yeah.
You got 2 kids. You go back home to your wife, I'm guessing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how Bill's
getting so check this out. So I missed a whole lot in the middle of me being in the military. While I was in the military, okay.
I mean, you got a baby in Kuwait.
You want the whole, you want me to go back and just tell you the whole story? Like, once I went in, because I stopped once I left Hawaii, I went back to my wife. We got back together, whatever, and try to make it work out. And then I went to the military. But check this out. So when I was in basic training, I was with my wife. And when I finished basic training, I went to school. I was with my wife. So when I finished school and I'm going to my first duty station, my wife didn't want to go with me.
Oh.
And then because she said, she was scared, she didn't know it was going to be all right. And I'm like, what you mean? This is the military. We're going to be good. They're going to take care of us. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go to Texas and I'm going to check it out. I'm going to get us our house. I'm going to take care of business, take care of everything. So I'll just move you down later. You know what I mean? And she agreed with it. But come to find out, she was talking to somebody else. Come to find out, because at the same time, I told her that I wanted to get back in church. I wanted to get my family right. I mean, I got this new job with the military, family right. She started to go to church. So then once I got to Fort Hood, Texas, like I said, I handled everything. I'm giving her a call and she said, no, I'm not coming. I'm like, what you mean? What you mean you're not coming? She said, I don't want to go because I met somebody else. And I'm like, what? Yeah, I met somebody else in church. And I'm like confused because I knew I was talking to her. She said she met a friend and his family in church, but I didn't know they end up messing around with each other. You know what I mean? So basically, she left me for him, and he was married also. You know, so she left me for him, and that mindset right there, that tore me to pieces. Tore me to pieces. I'm like, yo, the woman I love, my wife, I know we messed up, but I'm doing good. I'm trying to provide for my family. And all of a sudden, she wanted to mess things up. And after that, I'd say, you know what? Forget all females. I'm gonna just treat them like a dog. So I end up, long story short, I end up dating one girl while I was in the military. Actually, she was in my team. We ended up breaking up, and a new girl came, which is a Caucasian female, and we end up dating, and I end up getting her pregnant.
What?
While in the military. And that's baby number 3. So check this out. Not only did I get her pregnant in Iraq, right? They end up sending her home. And when they sent her home, I ended up messing around with another girl in Iraq and got her pregnant too.
Wow.
So that's baby number 4. So now, mentally going through all this, and then let's jump back to the story. Yes, I'm about to get out. I'm getting out. And then after I get out, it's boom. Okay, what am I going to do? Okay, you know what? I'm tired of all these baby mamas. I'm tired of all these babies. I'm going to stick with the last one. The last one was from California. And that's the reason why I moved to California.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah.
You said, I'm tired of all these baby. Boy, you created a baby mamas. You don't know how to wrap it up?
Bro, again, I didn't care, dog. I didn't care. I did not care, bro.
And that was because of the heartbreak.
That was mainly because of the heartbreak. I didn't care. I just said, it is what it is. You know what? If I had 2, I got one already. You know what? I'm gonna have another one. I ain't taking care of that one. I'm gonna have another one. I don't care at this point.
Gotcha. So you come back, you got 4 kids. You about to start your starting?
No. Get it right. 4 kids, 4 different baby mamas. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying you 4
Yeah.
kids, you about to start your lineup, your basketball lineup. You're 1 short.
Sheesh.
You're 2 short shy from the 6-man award.
Yeah.
Wow, that was inappropriate.
You come back. How was that adjustment back to reality with all these kids, 4 different baby mamas? You obviously want to stay with the last baby mama. You go to California. Your mental, you're working on your mental.
Or was I?
Well, were you? Well, that's what I'm saying. What was the adjustment? I'm guessing you would.
The adjustment.
You would have to at some point work on your mental. If I'll say this, you had to consider working on the mental if you went to your sergeant and said, "Yo, this is what's going on." That's the first step.
That's a good question. I mean, that's good right there. So
that's the first step.
So
afterwards, you may have not continued to work on your mental, but the first step was, yo, this is what's going on. I feel like I'm about to murk everybody over here. I can't do this.
So here's the thing. I think that was the first sign of me. Like, that was the first sign of like something wasn't right. So when I got out, it was just like, okay, I ain't got to worry about that no more. Let me go ahead and try to make this thing right with this last baby mama that, I got pregnant. And when I moved to California with her, I wasn't thinking about anything military. It was just about, okay, I'm in Cali now. You know what I mean? Okay, I don't have my own place. I don't have anything yet, but I'm just going to start over here and then I'm going to make this work. So
how did you make it work?
I didn't.
Okay.
So I didn't like where I was staying at. I didn't, because I was staying with her family, and it was a 2-bedroom and 6 people, 6 grown-ups. So like, no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 6 grown-ups was living in a 2 small bedroom in California. And I didn't like that living. And the girl that I got pregnant last, she was very young. So of course she was, mommy, mommy, mommy. And in my mindset, it was, no, it's not mommy, it's me and you. And she, of course, picked her mom over me, and I didn't like it. So I ended up leaving. And then when I left, I ended up staying actually with someone I met, because I ride motorcycles. So someone I met in a motorcycle get together that I had one day, and I ended up moving to Hollywood and staying with him. And that's where I end up getting the job working with celebrities, as a personal driver / security.
That's where in the Prodigal Son, that's where you transition to the drugs. Obviously the sex is already there, but the crazier sex, the drugs and all that, right? So if y'all haven't gone watch the Prodigal Son, please go watch the Prodigal Son on
Yes, sir. djrxyallxve.com.
So the Prodigal Son, so you go to Hollywood.
Yes.
Oh man, I'm loving this. This is good. This is good. You're in Hollywood. You got 4 baby mamas. Honorable discharge in the military.
General under honorable. Yep.
Okay. You start being a driver for celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of, because people say celebrities, what kind of celebrities, if you can share some of the people that you've driven around?
I was in a mix, man. I was Katy Perry's personal driver. When she didn't need me, I was Little John's driver. I worked with the Bieber crew, Justin Bieber in them. I used to drive his manager. Kardashians, I drove the mother's boyfriend a couple times.
Bruce?
Bruce? Her boyfriend, not the husband, not Bruce, but her black boyfriend. The mom has a black guy as a boyfriend, my age actually.
Interesting.
Who else? Usher. I was Young Thug's personal driver when he came to California. Michael B. Jordan. I mean, I can name so many people, man. Like I was actually kind of popular when it comes to, driver / security guys. That it's definitely a private type of way of getting in, and I was in there.
Now,
I drove Beyonce one time. I was happy about that.
Did you? I gotta ask. Did you ever drive Khloe Kardashian?
No, I mean I drove Ariana Grande. Did I say Ariana Grande?
No, I'm not a very.
Yeah. I used to drive her all the time. I mean, I knew her family. I drove her brother too. So yeah, I was real cool with their family. I was cool with the royal family of Africa. I forgot what country though, but it's so many people, man. So many people I can't even think of that I'm probably missing that you guys know.
So in this mix, when you were driving these celebrities,
Conor McGregor, he was my boy. I was his main driver.
Conor.
Yeah, I can name a lot, bro. Like,
so in the mix of you driving these celebrities, did you?
Oh, Mary J. Blige. I'm sorry. I was like, Mary J. Blige is another one, bro. And yeah. And actually, I still talk to her team, like her personal assistant, every once in a blue moon. So yeah, man. Yep. So all right, that's it.
So I'm guessing you build a relationship with some of these.
I build a relationship with some. Yes. I build a relationship with not only the because believe it or not, what you guys don't realize, because you guys don't be around celebrities like 24 hours, 7 days a week, like I was. I build a relationship with their team. Their team runs the celebrity's life. You know what I mean? So that's the connections that you really want. Celebrity can't do nothing for you. I mean, they can sponsor you, be like, hey, look at this person, but it's the team around the celebrity that you really want to. I mean, I knew a lot of people behind the scenes, you know. Yeah. My bad.
Wow, that was inappropriate.
Hello, Djroyallove. How can I help? I had your call.
All right, go ahead. Like, you got to get a house phone, business phone, you got. The business phones, you got. The business phone, get one.
Ah, that's funny. So I want to talk about the celebrity life because obviously you've been in it.
Yes.
Been around it.
Yes.
And this will eventually lead to the next part. But I've heard stories, and I know for a fact I've heard stories, and there's a lot of conspiracies that go around with artists, celebrities, with selling their souls and Illuminati and all that stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's conspiracies. I am somewhat of a conspiracy theories. I do fall into that Illuminati trap sometimes, every now and then. So certain things for me just seem a little funny.
Mm-hmm.
What can you confirm, if you can't confirm, about allegations that are made about stuff like that?
All I can say is that.
Oh, we're about to get canceled.
All I can say is that there's a lot of stuff that gets swept underneath the rug.
Okay. I don't want.
So if you think
carton, so we're gonna leave it right there.
You know, I'm leaving right there. So if you, there's a lot of stuff that gets swept underneath the rug. So I don't know if that answers your question. Like I said, I'm not in the space to be calling people out, whatever, but it's a lot of the stuff that gets like swept underneath the rug, and you would never know.
Really? So completely out of pocket.
Yep.
Right? But I gotta ask.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a big rumor about it.
Okay.
And it's a serious thing nowadays.
Yep.
Child trafficking. Does it get...
Okay.
How do I ask this? Everybody knows about the story about a certain celebrity, well, a certain person. You know what? I'm covered by the blood of Christ. I'm good. Everybody knows the story of Mr. Epstein, right? And the whole child trafficking thing. And there's been rumors about in Hollywood. That's not uncommon. That gets swept under the rug. Can you confirm or deny, or you rather not say?
I don't know who that. I didn't know who he was. He was probably one of the. He's a power player in LA, so I didn't know who he was.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's probably one of them guys that you would say, oh, he's an Illuminati because he's a power player.
So something like that would be swept under the rug type status.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, he has the money to do it.
Okay, so yeah. So you guys could go ahead and I need any cops that are watching. I need Secret Service protection.
Right.
So celebrity life, right? Let's get back to it. Celebrity life. To the Prodigal Son. If you haven't watched the Prodigal Son, go watch the Prodigal Son on djrxyallxve.com. Yes, I am plugging it in. Matter of fact, do you got your little Djryallove?
Nah, I don't. It's on my DJ. It's on my DJ stuff.
Send me that audio so I could clip it in.
But I got the
um, to the prodigal son, right? Going back to the prodigal son. You talked about that. Then you talked about the sex and the drugs.
Mm-hmm.
And then you talked about getting locked up. And you shared this on your live before.
Mm-hmm.
Because of the job with the celebrity, that did that lead to drugs and crazy sex? Like, what was that? Like, what was that Hollywood? What was that Hollywood celebrity life like? Because even though you weren't a celebrity, but being the driver, you're kind of a celebrity because
I definitely wasn't no, I definitely was in LA. Everyone knew who I was because when you're always there and they know you're connected, you know, people like TMZ, I knew a lot of TMZ people like behind the scenes.
did you go
That
by did you go by a different alias? Obviously, you weren't Djroyallove.
no. I went by I never told my name actually. Yeah, I never told my name. You don't tell your name, you don't give no information. They just know me by face. They'll see me at the airports, they'll see me, they used to talk to me. They used to, you know, try to offer me a lot of money to get, you know, what you're trying to get. Uh, but yeah, it was definitely to answer your question with the drugs and stuff like that, behind the scenes, yes. So I remember one time when I dropped Katy Perry off, I was all right, let me stop there. I'm not gonna name drop. So another story. Another story. So I dropped a certain celebrity off and their crew was still in my vehicle and it was like, yo, what you doing afterwards? Because like I said, it's the crew that you want to be in, you know, that's how you get your connections. And I'm like, yo, I mean, I already dropped her off. I mean, I already dropped that person off. I already dropped that person off. You know what I mean? Yo, let's go. Let's go to the club. I dropped them off to the club, and just doing that and having the mindset like, yo, I can really be a part because not. Yes, I was a bodyguard slash driver type. That was my profession at the time, but I still had dreams of doing what I like to do. You know, as an entertainer or as you know something bigger. Like if I can find something bigger and make more money, I am. You know what I mean? So I'm going to. So you know, you get involved with these parties, and when you go to these parties, there's drugs there, and it's just like everybody's doing it, you know, and it's just like, I'll try it one time. I'll try it just one time and see what the whole fuss is. And oh, this feels so good. What? Whoa! You know what I mean? And then one time end up being 5 times, end up being 10 times, end up being a little habit. You know, it got to a point where when I wasn't partying with the celebrities and I was going back home into my little town by the beach, you know, at the little bars, whatever, and I'm in the bathroom, whoa, you know what I mean, and kind of selling it on the low. Hey, you want something? All right, give me that. You know what I mean? And it's funny and that goes into I'm going to go into while I was partying by the beach on my off time. You know, my boss hit me up, be like, "Hey, such and such is in town. I can't get her. Can you go get her real quick?" And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, "Man, come on, man. I'm out chilling, right? I'm out chilling, you know, drinking, whatever." You know, not knowing that I was high on coke and I was a little tipsy. So I'm like, you know what? I'm good because they evened it out. You know what I mean? When you take that bump, you even it out with some drinks, so you kind of mellow. So I hopped in the Escalade, boom, shooting to the airport, and it wasn't even 1 minute when I pulled out the parking lot. Whoop, whoop.
With the celebrity in the car?
No, I was on my way to.
Okay.
And whoop, whoop. I'm like, all right, keep it cool. Have you been drinking? Man, you see me walk out of the like he saw me walk from the club to my car. I mean, from the bar to my car. Man, you know I've been drinking, man, but I'm not drunk. Okay, give me a second. He was calling backup. I'm like, what the? I said, hey man, I got a very important client to go get. Like I'm not drunk. They got me out the car. I passed the little test that they do. You know what I mean? And then what they got me on was the breathalyzer. And I was locked up. They took me down. And this is getting locked up in LA now. You know what I mean? So it was definitely I wasn't scared. I done been through the army and stuff like, but it was definitely I'm gonna have to fight. I just hope people don't stab me. You know what I mean? I can hold my own fighting, but once you got weapons, I ain't got no weapon in there. It's just like, so you always, I was definitely kind of, I say I was kind of scared, because I didn't know how it was going to be. You hear stories all the time about jail in LA, how bad it is. And yeah, man. Yeah.
How long were you locked up for?
Before I had the court, so it took me a week to actually get a court date. No, actually it took a week to actually get a court date, and all that went down. I say like week and a half, 2 weeks, something like that.
Had the court date, got found guilty or not guilty?
I got found guilty.
And then what happened?
And then, so you want me to tell you what happened inside the jail, or you just want people to know, see the prodigal son?
No, you.
Because I think.
I mean, you could.
Or no. You know what? We'll go back to it. You'll go back to it because.
Yeah, I mean it's.
So.
We're gonna touch in it, but not too much because I want people to go watch the Prodigal Son.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Hold on.
So I end up being guilty, but see what I didn't know, you can do a military diversion.
What's that?
Diversion. So that's if you've been going to get treatment, or if you have counseling or PTSD, you can get away with the crimes that you do.
Huh. We do not condone that for anybody.
So I went back and got my paperwork and be like, hey, I have PTSD, and I actually got the charges dropped. But I did go to DUI. They had send me to DUI school.
Did you? I'm guessing you lost your job at this point, being a driver.
I didn't. But yes, they took away my license. So I was driving illegally, but I told them I couldn't stay. Like at that point in that mindset, I didn't want to stay. I had thousands of dollars saved up. So it's just like, you know what? I'm going to quit this. I'm going to quit chasing. I know enough connects where what I really want to do, DJing, I'm going to build my own business. And that's what I did. I took thousands of dollars, bought thousands and thousands of dollars of equipment, speakers, decks, flyers, everything that's needed to grow a business and have a DJ company. I did.
Now, you were in prison for 2 weeks, give or take 2 weeks. What was the scariest moment for you in prison?
So when you get locked up, it's called the Towers in LA, downtown LA. It's called the Towers. So I went there. I didn't know what it was. This is my first time ever getting locked up in LA. It's called the Towers, and in my mind, I'm like, man, is this a DUI? I'm gonna get out. You know what I mean? Like the next day or the same day. You know what I mean? But it didn't quite work like that. And actually, I was 2-3 days in the local station. They had me in their local jail. Then they transferred me to the Towers downtown. And then I stayed 1 day in downtown LA, and they shipped me upstate. So that was my scariest point, when they shipped me upstate. Because I'm thinking to myself, wait, I just got stopped by a DUI. why are they shipping me all the way upstate with the killers? Like, I didn't do anything bad. So that was basically my turning point where I start really getting scared and really getting worried, because I heard stories where you can get lost in the system. And I thought I was part of that, being lost in the LA system, because those jails are overpacked. You know what I mean? And yeah, so that's when my mindset was racing, and that was like, something's wrong with me. I don't need to be doing this. This is not me. And this is when I called out to God and be like, God, this is not me. Like, and then once I said that, I stopped and I looked around and I thought to myself, like, okay, God, I hear you. I heard him loud and clear. He said, if you keep up trying to chase the Joneses and trying to be something that everyone's trying to chase, and once they get there, they realize that it's not what you think it is. It's not as happy as you think it is. Like, you're going to end up here. Like, give me your life and I'll show you peace. I would give you that comfort. Everything that you struggled with, and the reason why you was probably doing what you're doing in the past, I would take all that away and have you reset and start over. And bro, ever since then, I wasn't scared no more. And actually, I got out. It's crazy. I know. And the reason why it was only 2.5 weeks, because that day that he spoke with me, and that night, going on in that afternoon, I ended up having a conversation with somebody that was in jail with me, came in at the same time. We ended up being, buddies. And I began to talk to him, and we ended up holding a Bible study, bro. And like, calling a Bible study in the middle of a bay, and invited anybody that wanted to come invite. And we just stood around in a circle, and we all individually, we prayed. And in my eyes, I like, just seeing that quickly in my mind, I thought to myself, wow, God, you are powerful. You are great. Look what you just did. Like, you know what? When I get out of here, I promise you that I will get myself together. And that same night, bro, right before the end of the night, I heard, Mr. Mosley, come to the gate. And I'm like, what? You getting released? And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, man. And it's just like, when I got home, I'm like, all right, God, where do I start?
And that is the beginning of...
That's the beginning of me building Kicking Radio. That's the beginning of me finding out, how to love thy neighbor. That's me just God, just having that. That's me having that relationship with Christ, bro, with God. Yep, that's the start of me building a relationship with God.
If you haven't watched The Prodigal Son, please go watch The Prodigal Son on DJ.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that was a turning point.
Yes.
So that started with Kicking Radio. Well, yeah, Kicking Radio. What led you to start Kicking Radio?
Man, that's a very good question, man. Because like I said, when I got out, I wanted to DJ and start my own company. So as I'm starting my own company, right? Check this out. I was DJing around LA. Like, I was the DJ, because I was very good at what I'm a hype. I was on a mic. I was getting people crunk. I was very good at what I did, but I mainly did weddings. You know what I mean? So I was getting bookings every single week. And then at the same time, as I was still trying to build this relationship with God, and as I'm getting deeper and deeper, something hit me, and it said, stop DJing for the world and DJ for me. And in my mind, I'm like, well, well, God, you know, like, how am I gonna do that? Like, not to mention, I had no clue about Christian hip hop. I never even heard of Christian hip hop before. So I'm just like, I end up not taking any more bookings from the DJ company that I was teamed up with to give me bookings. I end up stopping the bookings, and the guys that I used to work with was like, "Yo, come on, come on, come on!" And I used to tell them all, "I have some. There's something for me to do. I don't know what it is yet, but I'm just waiting." I said that for like a couple months. I had no job for a couple months. I don't know what it is, but it's something that's going to come. I had that feeling something's going to come. I just feel like I need to do something else, and I don't know what it is, but yo, God has something for me, bro. And like, you sit down at my computer and just look at it, stare at it, and just think like, I mean, like, should I start my own like gospel station? You know, like, God, just like gospel music. And I'm like, it's a lot of people already doing that though. Like, I have to compete with the God, you know, gospel is huge, you know. So it's just like, I don't know, man. Like, I really want to keep, you know, even though I was DJing clean music, you know, it still didn't sit right with me. So I was just tugging back and forth, and it wasn't until one day I was online live, and I think, trying to let people hear my beats. And someone popped up, not to mention, I secluded myself from the whole world. You know what I mean? So all of a sudden, I see somebody named Kevin Spence pop up. And I'm like, Kevin Spence, that sounds familiar. That sounds like my cousin. And he hit me up on my DMs. Hey, cuz, I like your beats. I'm a rapper. And I'm like, oh man, you a rapper, cuz? I'm like, oh, I didn't even know that. I said, man, I knew you were a dancer back in the day. Little Chris Brown. He used to love Chris Brown.
Okay. I'm on. Go ahead.
Okay, he used to love Chris.
Don't know who Kevin Spence is, but we'll get to it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah. Okay.
And then we'll get to it.
So he used to love Chris Brown. So he was like, nah, I'm a rapper, bro. I'm like, I bet. I said, yo, I'm excited. I'm like, I bet. I'm gonna send you some beats, right? So he was like, oh, I like these. He was going hype on it. So it's giving me confidence. I'm like, okay. He said, yeah, cuz. And then after I sent him the beats and he was hearing it and stuff, he said, yo, cuz, like, yeah, I'm a Christian hip hop artist. And I stopped. I said, you a what? He said, yeah, you know who Lecrae and Toby Mac and all. I said, who? Who is the people? He said, cuz, check it out. I'm a Christian hip hop artist. And I said, that's a thing? He's like, yeah, believe it or not, it is. Man, I got off that phone. I went to my computer, did some research. Boom, right there, it hit me. I said to myself, I stopped, I looked up, I said, okay, God, I see what you just did. Oh my, and I would ever since that same night, I did not go to bed. I got on my computer and I'm just looking and trying to find some Christian hip hop artists. And I realized that there's thousands of artists that are just there. And there's no really a platform for them. Like, there was nothing. You know what I mean? I mean, I found, because then I'm going back and forth with my cousin. I'm like, yo, cuz, is there a platform for y'all? And he was like, I mean, there's this one platform called Rapzilla. And I'm like, Rapzilla? Okay, let me look it up. Looked up Rapzilla. I'm like, okay. But they don't, in my mind, I was telling her, I said, but they don't talk about the word. How is this? This looks like regular hip hop to me. And then right there, just like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to make my own radio station where I see all these thousands of artists that don't get notoriety. That I think your music is pretty dope, and I'm going to build my own brand and have all those artists come here and just try to highlight them. You know what I mean? And that's where Kicking Radio came from, bro. I prayed about the name because actually, how the name came up, I didn't really want it to be radio, but I end up, paying for some radio stuff, time on air online. But originally, because I was kicking it in my place, I was just kicking it. Like that whole time, I was just thinking about it, like, yo, what can I name it? And I'm like, yo, I'm just here kicking it. I'm here relaxing, just chilling. I'm like, yo, kicking it, Kicking Radio. You want y'all just come and kick it with me? You know what I mean? Just come kick it with me. And that's how I got kicking. And of course, radio is radio. So yeah, that's how all that came about, bro.
So for y'all that don't know, Kevin Spence is
it's official KLS. Yep.
But if you look at him on Spotify, it's just K.L.S.
Yeah, KLS.
And KLS used to be a dancer. Oh my goodness.
Yes. He can dog. I was a dancer too. So he used to try to compete with me back in the day. But yeah, he used to dance like Chris Brown. Yeah, we all used to dance.
That's what's up. I'm gonna get KLS on the show real soon. And when season 2 comes out.
Yes.
So Kicking Radio.
Kicking Radio.
That's how I met Djroyallove.
That's how you met me, through Kicking Radio.
Kicking Radio. I don't even know. I think it was you that started following me first on IG.
I went to Rapzilla. Check this out. I went to Rapzilla's Instagram and I followed everybody that was following them.
And then,
so that's how that worked. So I was like, okay, what is the strategy? How am I going to get people to know who I am? And I'm like, okay, let's take what's already there and just start adding people that's following Rapzilla. And then I start going to, okay, who's following this rapper named Lecrae? And start adding everybody from Lecrae. And that's how I did it.
That makes sense.
Yep.
Very, very, very intelligently done. Because you started following me, and I think I was doing something. I was putting out thing like freestyles and I was doing motivationals. And I remember when you started following me, I was like, oh shoot, because I was in the process of about to release an album, my first album. And then you followed me, and I was like, oh, let me follow him back. I was like, oh shoot, this is a DJ. Because my story behind all that was I was done with music. I was literally done with music, and I spoke to a brother of mine, Todd Ragazzi. He was on episode 3, I think. Episode 3 or 4 of the Keeping It a Buck. Go check that out on the Laughatlifeo Network YouTube page. And he told me one day, he's like, oh, I need to talk to you. And so I went back to my old church home. So the Holy Spirit was just like, yo, like, go back to your old church home. I went back over there. This is when I started slowly getting my life back together with Christ, and something happened in my marriage, and I was really just like trying to hone back in with God. I was done with music, and when I went to go speak to Todd was like, listen, I know somebody that works at Capitol. I showed him your freestyles. He's interested. He likes your style. He wants to know more. And that was a confirmation for me. Yo, work on the album. So the album, End of an Era, They Will Never Know, was written and recorded in literally 6 months. With the exception of a song and a half that was already done prior. So that whole piece was written in 6 months, recorded in 6 months. And I remember it was my birthday, because I released it in May. And I remember you hitting me up, and you said, hey, no. You put a post up saying any CHH artist with album release or whatever, I'm interested, or I forgot exactly what you said. So I remember I DM'd you automatically, and I said, hey, I just dropped an album. How do I go about getting it played on a radio station? Because that's what you were promoting. And you hit me back up and you said, yo, just send it to, I think it was like
Djroyallove at kickingradio.com.
Send it here. I said, cool. Right? I said, bet. So I sent it. Right? And because you said I'm gonna listen to it. If it's okay, I'll, if it passes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Screen
and music.
June 8th. That was June 8th. No, June 9th. I sent that to you. That was my birthday. And later, because of the time difference, you were in California. I'm in the East Coast. Your time was still June 9th. My time was already June 10th. When you sent me the email, you're like, yo, it's up on the website. Boom. I had the biggest geek moment. I was like, oh my God, I'm on a freaking radio. It was
yeah.
Oh
yeah.
It was a real proud moment for me. And you played my album on Kickin' Radio. And the only other album that was on Kickin' Radio at that moment was D.A. Small's. Hold on, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna go to my phone because I can't remember the name of the album.
Oh, D.A. Small's album?
Yeah, the one with the clock, with the clouds and the clock.
Hold
on,
oh, he's gonna kill me. He's gonna kill me for this one.
He's gonna kill me too.
I can't even remember, bro.
Oh, I'll tell you right now. 24 hours.
24 hours. There we go. Yep.
Right. So then you started going live, right? This is my story with with Djroyallove and Kickin' Radio. Then you started going live, and you were hosting. D.A. Small was a regular on your lives. You were hosting Freestyle Fridays battle cash prizes. With cash prizes. I'm going back memory lane because I think people need to know these pieces. You were doing your thing on IG Live. You were promoting music, right? Artists, DJ sets. You were doing Freestyle Fridays competition with and one of the things that was, I think one time was like a cash prize. The other one was, hey, whoever wins this freestyle, submit to this beat and hook you up with the producer, which is now known as Melody Man. And he was known as, oh my goodness, I don't remember what he was back then.
Danino.
Was he Danino?
That's who I met. Yeah, Danino. He didn't have like a certain stage name.
So, and then I remember he was throwing, he gave some beats, and I remember it was always D.A.
Ronnie Danino or something like that. Ronnie Danino.
Yep, aka Melody Man. Shout out to Melody Man. And then I remember it was D.A. Smalls. Every single time D.A. Small would sit there and spit a freestyle, and then Honor would have to come over here and spit a freestyle. Every now and then we would have Drew Smith spit a freestyle. Then we had a couple other artists that just spit a freestyle, but it was always going back to D.A. and Honor neck to neck. Every time he would spit something, Djroyallove would be like, yo, Honor, what you got? Like, so I would have to D.A. Smalls. Oh man, he brought the best out of me. I remember. So then that happened, and then
those was good times. Those was good. That was fun, actually.
Djroyallove then also started doing just having lives and telling people sharing their testimonies. For me, if I could be completely honest, if I'm gonna keep it a buck, every time you ask me, when you would DM me, be like, hey, can you come on the show and share your testimony? Or if I would go on your live and you're like, oh, Laughatlifeonur, you're about to come on if you can. For me, that was such a glorious moment because it gave me the opportunity to share who I was, right? Because I knew with your platform and sharing my story, we've helped people. I connected, I build relationship with people because of Kicking Radio. And man, I remember DA Smalls giving, preaching the word a bit out of Platinum Fitness. I remember that, doing push-ups and stuff like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I remember Djroyallove. Every time he would go on a live, Djroyallove would come out with a bag of snacks, and that became a trending joke. What do you got to eat today, DJ?
My Doritos, honey buns, and Gatorade. Yep.
And then things turned a little sideways.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Then things turned a little sideways. Djroyallove is exposing in a good way. I don't like the word expose. I gotta look. Djroyallove started exhilarating and exhibiting all these different type of artists. Right? You had in the beginning, it was, like I said, it was Drew Smith, it was Honor, it was D.A. Smalls. I don't think KLS came out with the album yet. But he was on there every now and then. Charlie Gist, Isaac Matters. Jekka Soul on there. You had
Scooty Wop, Jarrell Golden,
Young Foe. There was a bunch of different
Zachariah,
Finnekirk, Little School Bus. There are so many different.
One of One.
Oh, One of One. How can I forget One of Man, shout out to One of One.
Yeah, man.
Bridgewater. Well, Bridgewater came afterwards.
Yeah, Bridgewater came afterwards.
And then all of a sudden, turn of events came. You went on what we call
the Kanye West rant.
What? I gotta give credit where credit is due, because I'll never forget that that post that Drew Smith said, "Yo, you going Kanye? Your Kanye rant," and the frustration behind you. A lot of people didn't know why you were frustrated. I knew, because from the beginning, we started building a strong relationship and connection.
Yeah.
And it became a thing where DA and I were continuously on your live every single night, sharing, doing this, doing that. What caused you to go on that rant? I know.
So to start off, bro, as I was getting closer and closer to God, and as I was, getting shown things and everything that I was shown, I would go back and read my Bible and be like, okay, so that's what that is. I'm like, oh, okay. And just looking at what made sense when it comes to business, and I realized that I was losing sleep trying to make a platform for everybody. And it's just like, because I care so much, and I spent a lot of time on live, a lot of time just on the website, just building the brand. And when I was reaching out to everybody and trying to get everybody to see their content, I didn't feel that love back. And I was getting frustrated, because it's just like, people say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. But when I'm giving you content to keep your thing going, you just ignore it and just don't like, that's like Honor, you reaching out to me and be like, hey, can you play my song and highlight me? And I'm like, sure, I got you. You know what? No charge. you know, and I'm working. So what y'all don't see is I'm working behind the scenes. Yes, I got your music. I'm in these emails, taking your music, trying to find a bio for you, trying to highlight you and making a whole video around you. And then it goes out and it's like, okay. And you know when I'm gonna come out and promote your video because I'm telling you, yo, I got a video that I did for you. And the day of, I don't hear from you. So it's just like, okay, well, and at the beginning I say, hey, bro, look, I'm not asking for any money. All I'm asking for, I support you, you support Kicking Radio. That's it. So when I'm on a live, promote yourself. Say, hey, Djroyallove is going live, and you know, and take the clips of that. And I'm helping you promote for your promotion. I'm helping you with content. And it's just like I was doing that for so many artists, and I was dropping jewels, and I kept telling artists like, yo, be more serious about your craft, be more serious about your promotion. Just be more serious about, you know, everything that you do if you want to do this, because I'm not going to waste time, you know, doing all this work behind the scene when all you doing is just sending it off and just looking back and doing nothing, because nobody is famous here. And, you know, everybody's on the same playing field. So it's just like, if I'm doing the work as an artist and you're independent, you should be doing the work too. I'm going on live telling you guys what to do. I'm telling you to get your ID number so when you send it up to the radio, you can get paid for it. I'm telling you how to get an EPK so when you promote yourself, people can see. I'm telling you all these industry things, and it's just like I was just wasting my breath.
For free. Let's not
for free. So I was at a point where people used to reach out to me and be like, "Oh, DJ, oh, you're a Christian. Why are you?" And I'm like, hold on. First of all, if we want to keep it a buck, when I first started, I never said I was a Christian. When I first started, I said I have a relationship with Christ. I never said I was a Christian at first. So let's get that straight. Second of all, sometimes a lot of times I come off a little aggressive, but that's because of my passion of that's because of my passion that I have behind what I do. Like, can't no one tell me that I can't start from zero and make something buzz. I can do that all day. But I realized that everything that I was doing, because I was doing by myself, because I'm not perfect, my frustration was coming out because I didn't have a team. I didn't have a team. Everything that I was doing back then, I did it myself. Every single thing. So it's just like when you complain and be like, well, you know, well, you don't know what you're talking about. You're a Christian. Why are you so mean? Why are you talking this way? Bro, what does Christian have to do anything about your business? I'm trying to help you. So that's why I say, you know what? Enough is enough. I seen what I seen, and I realized you guys are unappreciative and you're lazy. You don't want to do the work, but you want to be this whole rap Christian hip hop star. And that's why I came out with, what are you doing this for? You know what I mean? What are y'all really doing this for? Just to blow up on the internet? Just that one guy that just blows up? Or are you really trying to do a business here? Because let's get it straight. Being an artist is a business. And that's what I think people don't realize. Yeah, you can do it for fun. That's cool. And then say you're doing it for fun. You know what I mean? But when you're reaching out to a Kicking Radio where it's a legit business and there's money behind it, and yes, it's only me. So, you know, I can only do as much as I can do, but it's a legit business. I was growing. I need y'all help. You say we're Christians, right? We're a body of one. I need y'all help. Help me so I can help you. That's how I can grow, and that's how you can grow. I have the platform. I'm telling you guys what to do. But again, I got frustrated and I went on a rant.
Classic rant.
But it wasn't until after that rant, I was still heated when I pressed in on that live. I called my mom. Like you said, Mom Dukes. She knows exactly what to say. And she made me realize this. And this is me. This is how unperfect I am, you know? She said, of course, by my government, Maurice, sometimes people are not going to be on the same level as you at that moment. But all you there for is to plant the seed. And maybe later they'll understand what you're talking about. In my mind, I'm like, man, mama, why you always gotta be right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to hear that. But then I thought about it, I'm like, you know what? You're right. But again, because they wasn't knowledgeable, they wasn't on the same level as me. That doesn't mean I'm better than them, but they wasn't there yet. You know what I mean? They didn't know the knowledge of the business because I already researched the business. So that's why I talked about it, but they didn't know that yet. So as long as you keep on planting that seed in people's brains, then one day when they, not doing so well, when they trying to figure it out, they be like, oh yeah, that's what Djroyallove was saying. Mm-hmm. Let me go back and look at this. Let me check. And one artist that did that, and that's why at the beginning I stuck with him because I knew he has potential, is D.A. Smalls. He's probably the first artist that I really had to break it down to and tell him everything before I even got on lives and stuff. I'm telling y'all, he's the first artist that really listened to me and actually took a sabbatical and came back smoking.
Yeah, he's been killing ever since.
Smoking. So it's just like, you know what? And ever since then, I think around that time, not too far after that rant, I think I closed Kicking Radio down.
No,
not yet.
No, not yet. Because after that rant, we started seeing, and I say we because.
Oh yes. So
after that rant, I say we because at this moment we already started. We were talking every day about music. You were pitching ideas. You asked me what I thought about certain artists, about certain songs, about this.
Yes.
That, because I had a little bit more knowledge of the music.
The music, yes. So at that point in my mind, and this is me talking business, at that point, I had to check myself also. And it's just like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing fully for sure. But what I do know, I knew what I had. I knew my work ethic. But the one thing I was missing was a team. And that's one thing I was looking for. And I said, you know what? I got this far. Who am I close with in this industry that I know that I can see potentially that I can work with? And that's where Honor came in. And I reached out to Honor. I think I reached out to Melody Man. I think I reached out to a couple of people. DA told me no, because DA told me he wasn't ready for anything like that. You know what I mean? Which I respected. Melody Man told me no. And Honor said, I have to think about it.
I said, I got to pray about it.
Pray about it. Yeah, you say you had to pray about it. Yeah. Yep.
And that's where the Laughatlifeonur podcast came to fruition, because when I prayed about it, it was like immediately, like the next day I called you and we had a long conversation, and I told you that for 2 years prior to that, I was telling my boys, yo, I want to start a podcast. I didn't know, blah, blah, blah. And that's where that birthed it. But because this is not about me, it's about you.
And then it's not really about me, bro. It's just what you know what it's me in the flesh. But all of this is, all of this is actually, if you really want to say, it's about the Holy Spirit, God. You know what I mean? Like,
but I say that because here's the reality of it and the facts on it. And whoever watches this, and if they get mad at what I'm about to say next, I'm not name dropping, because I'm not gonna taint nobody's character. If somebody and y'all hearing it first from my mouth, if anybody got an issue with what I'm about to say next, y'all know where to find me. Hit me up and we could talk about it. After that rant, right, the team started. That's when You started doing the videos with San at the radio in the morning. But after that rant, we started seeing the true colors of certain people. Right?
I made a lot of people uncomfortable, bro.
Certain people came out of left field with certain personal feelings, feeling a certain type of way, not really rocking. I was thrown in the mix of I guess I upgraded from host. I upgraded from artist to host to bodyguard. There was so much behind the scene negativity that came after that rant, because after that rant you spoke to your mom, and then you called me and you're like, bro, I just spoke to my mom, blah blah blah, and you were still going, you let it off your chest, and you're like, yo, I'm gonna change after this is it, this is it has to turn. I'm doing this for free. And you were giving people gems that people don't tell you to look out for in the industry. I learned things from the industry when I was sitting there. I'm like, dang, like it really worked like that. And then I started seeing it for myself. But I always said it to you, and I always say it to everybody. My music, when it comes to me being an artist, it's not about the money, it's not about the fame. I don't do this for me. I do this to educate, to edify, to change the soul, and it's always been like that. There were a couple arguments with certain people behind the scene, and you entered a stage of frustration. Again, no team. Again, Honor didn't know nothing about nothing, how to do anything about a podcast, how to set up a mic, how to what to buy, whatever. And I invested a little bit. I'm still, for y'all that don't know, I still have the same equipment I started with. This is this right here is a big progress, and it's only going to get better. Djroyallove, I owe you so much in gratitude, and I thank you so much, because people don't know that the Laughatlifeo podcast, Honor would record it and send it to Djroyallove, and Djroyallove would do the editing, and post it up on the show and fix the sound, because I didn't know nothing of nothing.
Yeah. And that's the thing. People they're quick to judge, but what they really don't know behind the scene is that if it was Honor or somebody else, I was willing to help them out to get to where they needed to be, because it wasn't about me either. And to this day, it's still not about me. I'm still doing the same thing I did 3-4 years ago, but definitely I'm moving it in a different way, and it looks different. But I'm still catering to the people, trying to get platforms for the people, and that's what it's about, man. I'm still trying to show people how to do it in Jesus' name, because let's get it straight. The reason gospel is the gospel because gospel music talks about the gospel, talks about the word of God. Christian hip hop music, a lot of people, I think, it's cool that you're not biblical cool, but you know what? I don't even want to get into that. I'm about to go on a rant.
No, we go in a second.
Okay.
Ahead. Because I don't want to take up too much of your time tonight. And then the demise of Kicking Radio happened, right? I said demise because it shut down. You were innovative, and you thought about things outside of the box. Did a fight night, right? Crazy lineup. You did a fight night. Great night. There were some controversies towards the end, like after, but whatever, right? That was cleared off in the past, whatever. It was misunderstandings, whatever. And then after you did fight night, it was like people were watching you, because then somebody else did something similar to it.
Mm-hmm.
Then somebody else did something similar to what Kicking Radio was doing. And somebody else started doing what Djroyallove was doing. Was it a coincidence? Were they watching? We can't. I don't know. We personally can't tell. My personal theory,
Mm-hmm.
my conspiracy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, somebody was watching and said, "Oh, you know, I got a big."
Oh yeah, they were definitely like Kicking Radio was definitely coming up. Like people were watching. I know because I ran Kicking Radio and I seen who was watching. So yes, everybody was watching.
So
Kicking Radio.
After fight night, Kicking Radio shut down Kicking Radio because we go back to the frustration of, yo, I can't do this by myself. They're not learning. They don't hear it. They don't understand. And you went on a sabbatical.
Yes. I got rid of everything and went on, and then I got rid of the Instagram. Well, I think the Kicking Radio Instagram's still up, but I don't even know the login for that thing. So it's probably still there.
You went on a sabbatical.
Yeah.
And you came back as just Djroyallove.
Djroyallove, me, myself,
right?
Because here's the thing. What I had to realize is that I needed people to know who I am. I needed people to understand what God has done to me or with me. I needed people to know why I'm doing this. Because I felt like people really didn't understand where I was going at with all of this. They just seen the lights, the big lights, you know. But let's take away all the big lights and let's look at, you know, let's look at the person, who is Djroyallove. And I wanted to show the world how it looked, because I couldn't get it out to you guys and you didn't understand it. Okay, let me take away all this stuff and let me show you what I do behind the scenes, how much work I put in, what I do out here in the community, what it looks like to be a Christian, how Christianity, I think, is supposed to look like. Not only am I a DJ, you know, but I do be out here and minister to people. I do go out these communities and spread the word of God. I'm not afraid to come out of these four little walls of social media, Instagram lives, and all this. It's not about that. It's about the who you can touch out here in the real world, you know. And that's why I did just go back to building my brand as Djroyallove.
Before that, when you went on your sabbatical, you tried a couple things. And this is the one thing that I want people to really understand here. And I think you would agree with me. You weren't afraid to try different things to see what worked. Kicking Radio, you did a DJ, you did a DJing, you did the mixes, you did the fight night, you went away, came back, you started the blog, from Cali to North Carolina to Texas. You start, you know, from Texas, and then all of a sudden you disappeared. And I have a beef.
Go ahead.
I got a beef with people, and I got a beef with CHH and CHH artists. And I'll be honest, and I'll sit here and I'll say this very, very boldly. If after this episode y'all feel a certain type of way and don't wanna unsubscribe from the Laughatlifeo network, go ahead. Y'all don't want to watch Keeping It a Buck no more, go ahead. Because one thing that I saw that really got me upset, and still I look back because I'm human and I get upset and I gotta remind myself, yo, you gotta let it go, and I gotta put the mind of Christ on, is when Djroyallove left. Yo, Djroyallove had a death of a family member. Ain't nobody reached out. Djroyallove was moving. Ain't nobody reached out. everybody that Djroyallove gave shine to, a lot of y'all didn't even check in to make sure he was all right. A lot of them didn't even out of sight, out of mind type thing. When Djroyallove came back, what? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, now I'm going to be the bodyguard. When Djroyallove came back, yo, DJ, where you been, yo? Wait, yo, but if we build a connection and we build a relationship, shouldn't you still be in his DM regardless he answers or not? How many times when you went on your sabbaticals did I hit you up and there was days, weeks that you didn't respond back? And finally, when you respond, I would have to call you and you would pick up and be like, dog, I would yell at you, be like, dog, what I do to you? You got beef? What's up? And you're like, nah, bro. I'm just spending time with God.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And there was a selective few people that even when Djroyallove was off the map, when Djroyallove and Kicking Radio started, there's only a few select people that are still here.
Yeah, but again, that's that's what I expected.
Yeah, but you know what?
And that's the reason why I left.
But me personally, I take that personal because, yo, I've never met somebody that just does everything for free. Yo, I had a song that I did called Don't Give Up from the album that I submitted it to Rapzilla. I paid $50 to get submitted to Rapzilla when the album came out, just to get their opinion. I got a 5 out of 10. I was happy with that. As long as it wasn't trash, I was good. But here comes this guy, puts my whole album on his website. Here comes this guy, shouts out people for free. Here comes this guy, and he's giving industry tips for free. Here comes this guy that I see that I'm talking to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's going through music, through emails of music of artists saying, yo, bro, I'm about to wait till tomorrow. I'm gonna share light on this person and that person and this person and behind the scenes to see the frustration of Djroyallove calling Honor like, yo, like, you got a second? Yeah. And just venting of everything. Yo, y'all don't know. I had access to the behind the scenes of Kicking Radio. Djroyallove said, yo, Your Honor, here's the password to Instagram, to the Kicking Radio Instagram. Here's the password to the website. Yo, get on.
I think you had the access to my radio station too.
Yeah, get on.
Yeah, you have everything, bro.
Get on there and just watch what I do. Just watch and yo, crazy.
Yeah. I don't think people understand. A lot of people still to this day, even now, like here in San Antonio, because God's blessed me with a residual income where I don't have to work. Some people are like, oh, DJ, you just be at home and don't do nothing. I'm like, don't get it twisted. I never just did anything unless I say, yo, I'm on vacation or I'm gonna relax. Like, I have websites to upkeep. I have music. I have emails. I have meetings to, like, I do stuff every single day. I pray, I talk to God. I mean, that's not doing nothing. Just because you work a 9 to 5, that doesn't mean I'm not up working a 9 to 5 either.
And
I just got different hours than everybody else.
And I'm going on my Kanye rant here. And one more thing I gotta say. Y'all need to stop being so darn soft.
Yeah.
Y'all don't understand. Y'all don't get it. Y'all don't know how many times Djroyallove would be on the phone critiquing and yelling at me on certain mistakes that I would do on the Laughatlifeo podcast.
Mm-hmm.
You would call me like, bro, I told you You got to do this, that. And I would fight you. We would argue, DJ. That's not what. Yo, it's completely different. Blah blah. Yo, and we would argue about it. But those are the things that made me get better. Those are the things that made me thrive for more. You know, those were the things that got the Laugh at Life O background. Those are the things that got the chilling with Honor background. Those are the things that got the keeping it a buck background. Those are the things that got the mic better. They got the sound better. I invested in webcam, rim lights, this, that, learning how to do this, learning how to do that. Yo.
And sorry to cut you off. And the crazy thing about it is, it's only the beginning for you, bro.
And I appreciate that. We'll talk about that and probably.
You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying. Like,
we'll talk and argue about that later because we always do, and we always.
No, but again, but that's what I'm saying though. Like, that's like, you know what I mean? I don't do this just for me. Everything that I do, I always pass along to my peoples. You know what I mean? That's how it's supposed to be. I don't keep anything for myself. I keep nothing for myself. You know what I mean? So it's just like, because what are we doing this for? You know what I mean? If I see my brother doing a good thing for the Lord and for the people, like, why wouldn't I want to be a part of that? Why wouldn't I want him to be the best that he can be? Whether if he has time or not, that's on him. But you can't say that I never gave you anything and act like I don't even exist. Oh, he's not popping no more, so I'm not going to rock with him. Well, you know what? It wasn't meant. My message, I guess, wasn't meant for you to, be whatever you want to be. It was for someone, and I'm satisfied with one. I'm satisfied with honor. I know I've reached out to somebody, you know what I mean? And I'm still going because I'm satisfied.
Now, a lot of people don't know.
Hold on, I got to drop my own bombs. Drop my own bombs right there. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people don't know when Djroyallove went to a sabbatical, the breakdown. He went, I believe it was like 2 to 3 months in the dark. Not even talking to me. Every now and then, you would text back, yo, I'm good, just spending time with God.
Yeah.
That breakdown changed you completely because after you came out of that sabbatical, you didn't go completely on, you didn't come on social.
And it's funny because I'm on social now, but if people don't realize that I'm really still not on social.
What you did was you hit the streets of San Antonio.
Yep. Yeah.
About that.
So when I was on a sabbatical, I had to realize, I mean, you have to realize this. My message this whole time is bigger than music. I always said, this is bigger than music. Yes, music is a talent that God gave you. Your words, your ministry is the music, but it's bigger than the music, and I had to take that and implement it into my own life also, because we went through COVID, and because this was all during COVID. So once COVID it's not over, but once they let us loose outside, it was my mission to show you that this is bigger than just music. You
said let us loose, like we're savage.
Hey, let's keep it a buck. They let us loose. They let us loose.
Somewhat. Some of us is
well, I'm in Texas, so I'm in Texas. They let us loose.
Wow, that was inappropriate.
So yeah, man. So I wanted to. I always talk to God about doing more, doing outreach to actually help people in my community. Like, I could play around with y'all online all day, every day. I don't know where y'all at. I don't know how y'all living. I don't know. But what I do know is that when I open these doors outside, I see a big world. And the world I'm in right now is called the territory that labeled is San Antonio, and it's just like, okay, how can I get involved? So because of my work ethic, I end up doing more research, and I end up actually calling around. I actually looked up all the record labels, if they even had any in San Antonio. I end up calling a record label, and they end up praying for a DJ, and I end up calling them. I mean, that's what they told me, and we vibed, and we was on the same level. And I end up meet people that was under the same record label, and that's where I got connected with a guy named Pastor Dre, LOC, Love of Christ. And he actually is very strong in community outreach work. And that's how I got started in, seeing what they do. I was at car meets. They done Christian car meets. They done all types of Tin of Hope meets, outreach, where they go to a park and hold Christian hip hop events. And, I'm the DJ and so much. And then I got this phone call one day that, they wanted me to be a part of, they want me to teach a class for a whole week at a school, so it's just all the stuff just back to back to back to back. And all I did was make one phone call and just got involved. Hey, I'm the new kid in town. My name is Djroyallove, and this is what I'm about. I'll put God first. Anything that isn't of Christ, I'm not doing. And they respected that because that's what they, go ahead.
Say that one more time for the people in the back.
Okay. Yeah, so my whole thing is offline. The reason why I've been offline and I transfer my energy out here in the world is that I told them that the only way that I will do your event is if we put God first, or I'm not doing it. I don't care, because here's the thing, Christian hip hop is not big in this city. So therefore they don't know what it is. But guess what? If you want me as a DJ, because they seen people around here, they seen my lives, they like my energy. They all say the same thing. I love your energy, you're crazy. And I say the same thing. Yes, I'm crazy for the Lord. So therefore, if I'm going to do your event, I'm not going to be playing secular music. Look, this is Christian hip hop. It's dope. It's better than secular music. You got some dope artists. I'm here to represent them, and I'm not doing anything if you're not representing Christ. I put God first, everything I do out here in the city of San Antonio. I make it known. And anybody here, they would tell you, I would not do an event if it's not God first.
And that's where, against all odds, Rise came into play.
So again, this is where another person reached out to me, because we have a big circle now, and another person has he wanted to start AAOR, against all odds, Rise. And this is where he reached out and he'd be like, hey, I know you a DJ. We got some Christian hip hop artists. We want to put an event together for a community. I'm like, okay, tell me more. Is it Christian based? Oh yeah, for sure. That's definitely what it is. But we're bridging the gap between the police and the community. And he was like, oh, I was like, wow, that's awesome. When is your first meeting? I'll be there. So we had a meeting at this nice, fancy, big building, and we go in and we're having a meeting. The cops down there sitting down. We're on one other side, and as the cops are talking, I'm sitting there listening, and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I don't agree with that. It's so much that I have to say, because I have so much to say, And the one cop, he was looking at me the whole time. And after he was talking, he came by me. He was like, I've seen your face and I see that you have so much to say. And I'm like, you know what? I do. Because it works both ways. I understand you are authority, but I was in the military also. And I know what it takes mentally, a mental breakdown for a job to be done. And the reason why there's not communication between the cops and the community, because the cops don't be in the community. Out of sight, out of mind. If you're not in their face, you're not going to have a relationship. Only time they see you is if something bad happens. But what about day to day? Do they see you? You know, what about when the kids come off the buses? Do they see you there? Are you playing with the kid? No, they don't. So that's where we come in, AAOR. We go to communities, hold events, let them have conversations with the cops. The cops have conversations with them. We actually have phases. We have different phases in these communities. We don't just go show there one time and, oh, we did a great job. No, that's not how you're going to fix the problems that's in these communities. You keep going back. Hey, let's have a little town hall meeting. Let's talk about it. Let's get to know each other. What do you guys want? What do you see out there? Oh, we take care of it. We get one-on-one. We go knock on doors. We do all that. You call us Jehovah's Witness all you want to. You know, we're here to help. And that's what AAOR is. You know, yes, I'm a DJ. Yes, 2, 3 other guys are rappers. And then we got, you know, our vendor people or whatever. But we come together. It's not about, you know, what we do at the events. It's about how we change the lives and how we plant seeds. You know, God comes first. And all that events and DJing and rapping, all that stuff comes second. You know, we plant the seeds first. And then we go do what we got to do out there in these communities, man. Shout out to AAOR, man. Emery, Djroyallove, Rose, Shamika, Jarrell Flowers. And yeah, man, shout out to all my peoples, man. Oh, Officer Green, shout out to him, and all the officers in Safeguard, man. Shout out to them too, man. Yeah. Shout out San Antonio Police Department.
I know that I saw a clip, an exclusive clip that I was able to see.
Mm-hmm.
Of you guys actually going out and knocking door to door
and
introducing, I forgot what you guys called it, introducing the cops to the people in the community.
Mm-hmm.
How was that experience? And how important, like, that's really important because especially today, after the whole George Floyd thing, after I can't remember, and I don't want to be disrespectful to the other victims, but I don't want to butcher any names and get them wrong. But after all these victims fell to police brutality, cops got a very bad rap. I know a couple cops that are cool as all get out, that they actually look out for dudes, be like, yo, I remember there was one officer that he used to tell me back in the day, like, yo, you know so-and-so? I'm like, yeah, I know him. Like, yo, let them know that to turn themselves in because we're going to be looking for them, and we don't, you know, if you know them, just let them know that we're looking for them, you know, just to be smoother. There's some cops that would give you the tip, like, yo, be ready. I mean, and I know that even today, when I see certain cops, because I've been racially profiled, right? I've been harassed. I've been racially profiled a couple times, so I know what that's like. I understand that.
I understand it as well.
I understand that, but as believers, we gotta change.
The narrative.
We gotta change the narrative of that, right? So
you have to.
when I see a police officer here in my town, and just the other day, I went to go grab breakfast, and I saw these 2 cops just chilling outside eating breakfast. And I stopped. I said, excuse me. And they looked at me like, yeah. I said, listen, I was like, I know you guys don't hear this a lot. I was like, yo, but I appreciate what you guys do.
Yes. And I think that's awesome, bro.
Before you say that, because I'm going to let you speak on it.
Go ahead.
They looked at me with this face like, what this Muslim looking like terrorist dude talking to us like that? And I was like, seriously, I was like, you guys don't. I was like, in our town, in my town, thankfully, thankfully to God, it's not as crazy, and you don't hear a lot of crazy activity as you would in other cities. I know that.
There you go.
Yeah. I think it was my internet, somebody's internet, probably mine. I know that in my city, in my town, there's not a lot of heavy publicity when it comes to issues with cops. But the problem is, one cop messes up in San Antonio, every cop suffers.
That's great. That's great, because I was going to tackle that. San Antonio is the second biggest city in Texas. A lot of people don't know that. But our town is not that big on, that type of thing either. Believe it or not, because thank you, Jesus, because of what we're doing here in the city, man. It's great cops here, bro. But it's funny that you say that, because we were just talking about that in our little town meeting at this property we had this past weekend. What you see on TV is not everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't personally ever seen that, but on TV. Not saying it's not out there, but again, all cops aren't bad cops. You do have them spoil apple, spoil apples. But again, just like the cop was explaining to me, he was like, but you have to realize, and you have to realize that cops they do a job just like you and I and everybody else. And sometimes cops can have bad days too. Mm-hmm. Someone could die in their family, or it's that mental health. Mental health is something serious that people just look past. You don't know what that cop is going through. Just like they don't know what you're going through. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm not blaming the community, or I'm not blaming the police. As a human and humanity, if we start respecting each other, because again, we have a history, us brown people, we have a history of backlashing back and forth. You know what I mean? Instead of just play the role. Oh, it's the police. Oh, instead of cursing them out and why you stop me for, just yes, so nurse. So if you're innocent, why you got to do all that fussing and fighting and whatever, because we do it. We give attitude and everything like that. You have to learn to play the game. Just like in the military. It's a lot of stuff that I didn't want to do, but I stood right there and I put my chest out. Yes, sir. No, sir. In the back of my head is like, oh, I'm going to kick your butt after this. Like, I don't want to do this. Oh, we're going to fight. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing. But again, people feels like, I don't want to say anything wrong. I don't want to mislead anybody, but I just think, if you can support or look up AAOR or reach out to me about what we're doing, I mean, I can definitely give you a little, behind the scenes or a little conversation about, what we're doing to just bridge that gap, bridge that gap. Because the police don't really know you. They don't know what to do. That's why they reached out to us. It's not like we voluntarily did. No, they reached out to us because they don't know how to connect with the community. They don't know how. And the reason why they reached out to us, because they know we all put God first. So that's why I said we need God in everything that we do. You know what I mean? To show that, how to love, how to respect, how to go about things. If you know what I mean? So people can reach out. If you have God can only fix it. He's the only one that can fix it. And the San Antonio Police Department is allowing us to help them with that. And I just think that's I think it needs to be everywhere. Even if you have a relationship with them or not, give us a chance to drop them seeds. And you might, that cop or that person that's at home might go home and be like, you know what? They're right. This can be a safe community, or this can be a safer place if you just put God first. And let's talk with each other. Let's get to know each other. Not necessarily all up in the business, but like I said, out of sight, out of mind. The only time cops really come around, and I say the same thing to them too, because I represent the community, and I represent the cops. So we are that bridge, you know?
I'm gonna ask you this, and then we're gonna wrap it up. We ain't really getting the state of CHH yet. Wait. I think I'm gonna wait to get into the state of CHH because I know that could take about like an hour.
Yeah.
But referencing CHH and seeing that you are you are in a community bridging that gap. What are your thoughts when you see when you see CHH artists Twitter fingering about the division between cops and brown people? You know what I'm talking about.
No, I know what you're talking about. All I have to say because I'm out there. And again, that's why I'm doing Djroyallove. That's why I'm just building my brand, because I'm showing y'all I'm not Twitter fingering anything. You have to go out there and see what the problem really is. If you're just at home behind it and looking at everything on TV and you're not actually out there in your community, policing your community and trying to help and be a difference, your Twitter finger is irrelevant. And that's how I look at it. I'm out there, bro.
So do you think, because there's been some artists that have expressed.
Yeah, it's a lot of artists, especially big known artists,
that have expressed their distaste for police.
They make a difference. In Jesus' name, make a difference. Make a difference, dude. Why are we Twitter fingering? Why are we online expressing? Well, I feel it. You never ever would see me do that, because if it's an issue, it was an issue for me. Man, I don't like seeing my people suffer like this. Let me go out here and see if I can get in the mix.
Well, it's funny because so I'll go back in August. We were on vacation, and on Facebook there was a big ordeal where a 14-year-old boy shot a girl by accident. He was the bullet allegedly to the story. I don't know what the whole story is. Allegations to the paper. She was an innocent, not an innocent bystander, but it wasn't meant for her. It was meant for somebody else. Everybody got arrested. Blah 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 blah. Right? 14-year-old girl, their 14-year-old got shot. And I looked at my wife and I cried. While I was on vacation, I cried because I looked at my wife and I said, "Yeah, that could have been our kid. That could have been my daughter, right? Wrong place, wrong time type status. Or just hanging out with people that she's cool with. She's not involved in anything, hopefully, right? And we've been products of, we're just, me personally, I've been product of, I'm just hanging out with people I'm cool with and they got beef with somebody. So now they think I'm part of this and I get involved in the beef. You know what I'm saying? Like, that happens a lot. And I saw a lot of parents talk so negative about this young fella that had the possession of the gun. And it broke my heart because it's like, yo, you guys don't know what that person's going through. You don't know what led to it. People are quick to blame the parents. You don't know what the parents are dealing with. You don't know. And I looked at my wife and I said, yo, like, everybody's quick to go online and share their opinions and put their comments, but those are the same people that are not out in the streets doing anything to change the situation. I'll be firsthand. I'm guilty that I'm not out there doing anything to change the situation. But then again, at the same time, I don't comment. I keep those to myself I keep it within. I express it to my wife. I call you up. I express it to you with my busy schedule at work and kids and soccer and this and that. It's crazy, but God is good.
He is all the time.
Because I've been praying and I've been asking God, I want to get involved in the community. I want to change things around. I don't know where to start. Especially with my time, I don't know where to start. Right? So my daughter we were watching a soccer game this past week. And I ran into somebody that I see him do stuff for the community. He holds kickball events, right? Kickball tournaments once a year in the summer. He does the book bag giveaway. My man he's not a Christian, right? But he comes from a rough childhood, and he's making a difference in our town. He grew up in our town, right? He grew up in Danbury. Shout out to Bam. Because when I spoke to him, I said, yo, I see
shout out to Bam.
when I saw him at the high school, he's a director there. He teaches at the high school. You know, he's and I remember seeing him back in the earlier days when we were out in the streets, whatever. I knew what time it was, and I looked at him and I said, "Yo," I said, "I appreciate everything that you're doing. I see what you're doing, and I appreciate it." Right? He got some plans that he wants to do. He told me, he's like, "Yo, I'm planning to do blah, blah, blah," to change the community. And he said something that was so key. He said, "Yo," he said, "it's about," he said, "Yo," he's like, "I remember how we grew up, and it's about changing the generation, right? It's about changing and making it better for the future generation. You don't got to go through what we went. You know what I'm saying? And you create these opportunities." I mentioned him. I said, "Yo," it's like there's so many churches in Danbury, and I don't see them active. My man said, "Yo, that's because they're sitting behind a desk they're sitting behind a desk behind closed doors." Now there are some churches that are doing some, but I don't think it's enough. And I can say that because I fall into that category that I'm not out there, right? So when this happened, right, at this conversation that me and Ben were talking about, right, we were just chopping it up, whatever. And I just kept saying, I said, "Yo," I was like, "I appreciate what you do," right? I told him, I said, "Yo," I was like, "Me as a devout Christian, I want to do more." And when people use the word Christian, there's a negative flag that comes up automatically, right? So the conversation ended, long story short, conversation ended with me telling them, "Yo, all I want to do is just one person. Just reach out, one person, change one person." And not even change it, but just to show what Christ is really all about to one person. That's it. Because people have this misconception of who Jesus is. People have this misconception that when you say you're a Christian, that we think that we're better than everybody. That's because the church has been so tainted in so many ways, right? The end of the conversation, when me and this gentleman, what we ended the conversation was, he said, "Yo, hit me up." I said, "Bam, let's link up soon." I walked away, and I'm speaking this in fruition. I don't know when it's going to happen. And I was talking to my wife earlier, and we were talking about it. I was telling her and I was expressing her, and I turned around and I said, "Yo, God is good." I said, "God's amazing." I said, "Because you know what? I've been asking, I've been praying, God, where do I even start?" And when I spoke to Bam, God was just showing me, telling me, "Hey, this is where you're going to begin." Because he has the opportunity and he has the time to do so much, and he already built something that's so much. But what's missing is the love of me. love of Christ, right? What's missing is that a different side. Yeah, yo, y'all all the same. Yeah, he's doing things for the community, but. And I was telling my wife, I was like, this is God telling me, yo, this is your way in. This is your
and one thing I have a suggestion for you, bro. One thing, and that's just for anybody getting involved in these events, and especially if some people aren't Christians or aren't followers of Christ. Stand your ground. Don't just do it just because. You know what I mean? I had so many people reach out to me. I've turned down events because they wanted some secular music. And I'm like, but why are you're
he froze.
No, I froze. Hello?
No, you're good now. You're back.
Oh, so yeah, like I'm saying, so you're doing these events that I had to turn down, and because it was just like they wanted me to play some other music, and I'm like, why are you inviting me, knowing I'm a Christian hip hop DJ? Why are you going to invite me out if you want me to play hip hop music when that beats the purpose? You're trying to do something positive for the community, but you're pumping nothing but negative music in their ears. Like, that makes no sense. Oh, I'm doing something positive for the community, but in the background you see coochie, 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 penis, 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 and all this other stuff that's going on. And it's like, that's the kids are hearing that, and they're sitting here dancing and idolizing that stuff. So it beats the purpose of even having me, because I'm not about that. Now bring me in and let's do the same event, and let me show you what God does. And I guarantee you'll dance, you'll rock, you'll do everything with a positive message. And not only that, you're allowing me to plant these seeds, because it's not about you, it's about the youth. Yeah. But because we have a whole bunch of broken adults out here that still want to do it their way, we're going to have these type of things.
No, of course.
So, like I said, it's dope that you have the opportunity to do that. But all I can say, stand by your word, and do not stop being who you are, bro.
Oh, never.
Do not stop being who you are, and step up to the plate. Like, nah, just give me a chance. Just let me show you,
Listen, man. Yeah, I made that clear yesterday. Man, listen, I'm what people don't know, when it comes to Christ, man, and the word, I stand by it. People don't know, I speak to brothers of the Latter-day Saints all the time.
Yeah.
And they come with a different doctrine, but I go right back to the Bible. I've
got
to the point where I've told people, I live and I'll die for this word, that if what you're telling me does not go and it's a lie, and this is for anybody, what you're telling me that you think is what you think is the truth, and it doesn't coincide with the real truth, I'll walk away from God. That's how bold I am in my faith. I will not waver for nobody. Am I perfect? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell people straight up front, yeah, I'm a Christian. Yeah, I follow Christ. Yes, I'm all about Jesus. But don't get it twisted. Catch me on a bad day, you might catch a couple words that I'm going to come back to you later and repent.
Yeah, and what people don't know is I fuss at you all the time about that. You know what I mean?
Yo.
So we're one message before we go. I know we about to wrap it up, but
we ain't talking about me right now.
No. I know that's what I'm saying. But one thing I want to say before we go, man, is just that no one's perfect, you guys. I'm not perfect. I'm not going to act like, oh yeah, you're out there doing this community work and you're doing this and trying to. But at the end of the day, I'm human. Just like I'm not no better than anybody. It's just that I have a strong mindset, and no one can tell me that God ain't good. So therefore, having that motivation and having that with me, I know I have a strong weapon. and that's the Lord, and that's the word of God. So therefore, when I go into this world and go into battle, I'm going to make sure I prove my point. I'm going to make sure you see me. And one thing, I'm going to make sure you know that I'm not perfect. And I will let anybody know it. Out of these 4 years that I've been doing this stuff, I've battled through things. I used to be a cursor. I stopped cursing. Okay, God, I see you. Slowly stopped drinking. Okay, God, I see you. God just helped me, blessed me, stop smoking April 1st of this year. Okay, God. You know what I mean? So therefore, because, and this is definitely how God works. God is not, just because you ask something for him, that don't mean he's going to give it to you right then and there. You know what I mean? He's definitely has to see your worth and your work. You know, if you're not giving God that, you know, man, come on, man. Come on. Like, after I did the Prodigal Son, I never did anything like that before. I didn't even know what to do. I was uncomfortable. I was standing in front of people inside of a church on the stage and telling them my testimony. And I did something that I know I had to do, I wanted to do. And because of that, and we got it done, God rewarded me and helped me quit smoking.
Yep.
That's me doing the work. That's me doing the footwork. You know what I mean? Because I know my story helps somebody. Well, you know what I mean? It didn't only help me, it helped somebody. So therefore, if you have these sins that we all have, we all sin, and you want to be, you know, you want these sins to go away, you have to do the work, you guys. You can't be half one foot in and one foot out at the same time. Yes, I was a smoker this whole time, but I didn't idolize it. I didn't let y'all see it because I was embarrassed of it. But that doesn't mean I'm not a Christian, and that doesn't mean I'm not a follower of Christ. I was putting in the work.
And to make it clear, because people will take this the wrong way.
And yeah, and don't make it clear, I'm not idolizing anything. I definitely.
Well, wait, people will take this the wrong way. Oh, well, you got to work it to no. What DJ? This is why Honor and DJ mesh so well, because Honor breaks it down a little bit better than DJ does. When DJ is talking about the work, you got to put in the work. It's just as simple as you got to put in the work as putting God
first. Yes.
Him. You know, it's work to put God first. It's work to pray. It's work to your word. It's work to listen to break down your old sinful nature and actually listen to the whole. All of that is work, because when we try to elevate or be better, we have to work. That's why that phrase, that saying, "Oh, I got to work on myself." No. Yes. But it's not a physical work. It's you're changing. You're
changing. Yeah, exactly.
So when he says you got to put in the work, that means, you got to put in the time put in the time, spend your time with God. Spending the time to learn how to put God first.
Yes, because it's simple. Okay, great, Alan. Thank you for breaking down your more. Because I'm talking how I've already done it. So put in the work. Yes, let me break it down. Put in the work. Praying more. People don't pray. Having a relationship with God, just talking to him. People don't do that. Getting to the Bible, people don't do that. So that's putting work, because I guarantee if you do those three simple things, God will start showing you everything you're doing wrong that you need to be doing right. He will show you everything that oh man, I've been doing that. You know what? All right, let me stop going to the club. Why? Because for what? All right, let's make it simple. God showed me you need to stop going in the club and drinking. Why? Because the enemy is always out there. The enemy is not going away. You're opening up the door for the enemy to kill you. Because your life could be taken away just like that from the mistakes that you make for doing something you really not supposed to be doing and poisoning yourself. You're opening that door for the enemy just to wait until you get really drunk and go drive your car home. You know what I mean? Like, but people don't think about that. You know, the simple things like that, you will lose your life for your lack of knowledge. But if you in this word, you know, if you move different, okay, I've been reading my word. I know I don't need to be out there. I need to start doing things different. He will replace that feeling that you have going in the club with something even greater, a relationship with a brotherhood and stuff. And y'all come together and y'all talk. And, you know, like that right there is, I'm telling you, it might seem boring, but that is the greatest feeling, the greatest high in your life when you recognize when God is blessing you. Man, it's such an awesome feeling.
Is that what we're gonna leave with your final words?
Man, that's my final words, man. Look, you can catch everything else out because I didn't even talk really about Christian hip hop.
Nah,
but
that'll be next time.
Man, look, man, that's my final words, man. I just want to say I love each and every one of you guys, man. Check me out. Everything that I'm doing, djrxyallxve.com.
And with that said, man, DJ, I appreciate you so much for taking the time.
Appreciate you even having me, bro.
We covered a lot, and there's still
so
much more to cover.
It's a lot more we can talk about. You know how it is. Look, we talk so much on the phone, and it's a lot, and we can make this a 5-hour show if you wanted to. But you know, I know this is what it's going on 2 hours. I think. Good gracious.
I think something like that.
You know what I mean?
That's all right. Well, with that said, man, thank you everybody for watching. Keeping it
Yes.
I'm your host, Honor. We had DJ Djroyallove today, and until next time, make sure you guys subscribe. And I'm still trying to figure out how to work this proper outro. I don't know. Anyways, until next time, we love y'all. God bless. Peace.
Peace.
Thanks for watching Keeping It a Buck on the Laughatlifeo Network. Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification button. Because remember, every other Friday, we drop a new episode. And you don't want to miss our next episode. Man, you don't want to miss it. But while you at it, make sure you go to eyesonyouthclothing.com. So that way you can get your Laughatlifeo gear. Because, you know, you got to stay Laughatlifeo geared up. See what I did there? Anyways, man, thank you for watching, man. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And I'll see you in 2 weeks. Peace.